Weird. Warrior, I'll tell you what is weird. Nobody right now, very few of us are talking about our open borders. What does this mean? There is so much distraction. There is so much reaction to what we call the low-hanging fruit that I am scared to death. Warrior, we have to keep talking in this election cycle and going forward about these open borders. Nobody's focusing on this. We know it's bad. We know it's criminal. But let me reinforce some of the ideas, what's happening right now. The popular border right now is San Diego. There is virtually next to no vetting. They are just ushering people in. It is not the fault of law enforcement, border security. They don't have the man and woman power. They don't have the tools and resources that our federal government should be supplying them. I am here to remind you that 300 American families are affected each and every day by the poison illicit fentanyl. Fentanyl used properly is a drug. We are talking about the illicit, the chemical fentanyl, the components that come from mostly China through our open U.S. borders. The cartels are in practice with China, and they're just ushering all these drugs in, and so many people are dropping dead. One pill kills. As a matter of fact, here in New York City, where the Warriors is based, August 21st, in Times Square, we are having a takedown. Lost voices of fentanyl, fentanyl awareness, fentanyl media. We cannot allow this. This is poison. When we read drug overdose, this is not a drug overdose. This is the intentional poisoning of Americas. We have that going on. Not to mention sex and labor trafficking. Nobody is talking about the vulnerable, unaccompanied minors that are flowing freely over the borders. And where's the vetting? Because just a little reminder, the Biden administration back in April 2023 said we lost track of 85,000. You better believe that that number could be 2, 3, 4 times higher because we don't really know. We don't have accurate numbers of who is coming into this country. Right now, I hear in the media, we have 11 million people. Then I hear from my sources, really, it's about 20 million people. We just don't know. It doesn't matter if it's one person. So no matter what you think of the border, these are the issues, policy that should be put on the table right now so the Americans can understand leading up to an election. I dare say this isn't even political. It is about who is best for America, our American families, our children. Just think about that for a minute. With these open borders, untold children, that our government is allowed, no matter what you think about the border, these are human rights abuses. Flowing into the country, sex trafficked. Everybody likes cheap labor. That goes for Democrats. That goes for Republicans. And a lot of these kids we know can be found in dangerous jobs, farming, lumber, automotive, meatpacking plants, forced servitude, servants, slavery in homes across America. These are the brutal facts. I never thought as an American, growing up, where I had to stand every morning in my classroom and pledge allegiance to the flag, that fast forward all these decades, this is what's going on. We are told always we are the global, free leaders of the globe. This doesn't sound like freedom to me. And on top of it, we have, and this is the opinion of the Warriors, we have the criminal cartels working hand in hand now with China, with the deadly illicit fentanyl, right? That's being mixed not only into the pills, the opioids, into marijuana, into everything, the edibles, right? How many little babies have to die? Go to the Twitter, our Twitter account, at Lynn's Warriors. Remember, I named everything Lynn's Warriors because I want you to come along, get the information I'm providing, and share it on your platforms. Let's leverage the internet, our platforms for good, right? Look at the picture I posted today from Derek Maltz, former DEA, in charge of drugs here in New York State, of all the babies, he did a collage, who have died from fentanyl. It could be fentanyl because they were in the environment. We had a story a couple of months back in a daycare center. Kids were sleeping on mats and hidden underneath the floorboards. Unbeknownst to everybody, apparently, this couple running the daycare, storing their illegal fentanyl supplies. And just being near that, a touch. Remember, a couple 2 or 3 little grains of salt is enough. That's the comparison. Can kill you. So we have that going on. I dare you to look at all these parents in the face loving parents, whose children, don't call them drug addicts, don't call them crazy, don't call them bad kids. They were poisoned. For instance, lots of stories of somebody ran out of their medication on a sleepover, a teenage girl, for instance, and her friend offered her a pill, and she inadvertently takes it. Her friend didn't think she's poisoning her, but we have to understand that big tech is complicit in allowing these illicit drugs to be sold on the internet, Snapchat, with 2 clicks. That our U.S. government, let me get back to that, is complicit. That's what I started saying. Hand in hand, we've got China, we've got Mexican cartels. In allowing all this coming into America, it is intentional. So who's really talking about the border today? I don't want to hear about laughing. I don't want to hear about men in dresses, beards. I don't want to hear about the Olympics today. I want to hear about the border. This is weird to me that we would allow our children to witness all of this, because don't tell me it doesn't affect our American children. They are witnessing. They have front row seats to all of this chaos. No wonder we have a youth mental health crisis. So what are we going to do about it? We're going to know our facts. We are going to stay in our lanes no matter how hard it is and not go for that low-hanging fruit. Spread awareness about the borders. If you're in the New York area, join us on Saturday, August 21st in Times Square for the takedown. We have to keep raising awareness. We have to push on our elected leaders. Even if you think, because I hear this repeatedly, they don't do anything. Get in their faces appropriately. These are the facts. Sign on with your social media to share the studies we provide, the facts, the truths of all of this. Talk to your kids open and honestly. I don't care about all the noise out there. Neither should you. You should be talking about these borders, the most frightening thing, because all of the law enforcement we work with, we talk to here at the Warriors, they're frightened. They're scared. Weapons are flowing freely over the borders. What's going to happen with all these weapons? Why are they being stockpiled in different areas? We also know for a fact the criminal cartels are working hand in hand with the MS-13 gang. For instance, here in New York, they've been predominant MS-13 out on Long Island for years now, probably about 14 years. And now they're working with the cartels. And what are they doing? They are trafficking the drugs. They are also infiltrating our middle and American high schools, getting our kids, our American kids, to traffic these drugs for them. And if you ask me why, it's because money talks. Because kids can make money. That is always, I'm sorry it's so crass, the bottom line, there's lots of money to be made. Why? They're also getting American kids to human traffic, enslave their peers. For instance, a young girl might think she has a boyfriend. That boyfriend, she's in love. She'll do anything for the boyfriend. Young brains, they're not thinking, right? Fast forward, and very quickly, this boyfriend will get this teen girl, perhaps, to deal drugs for him, to start sleeping with other boys and men, and become ensnared, this girl, this young woman, this teen, in this sex trafficking ring. She may even go home and sleep in her own bed at night. We as the adults have to be aware. These are the issues that count. Less than 100 days to the election. My number one issue with all of this, because it leads to everything else in our warrior circle, is the open borders. We've got sex trafficking. We've got labor trafficking. We have the infiltration into our American school system, these kids are placed in our schools, those who do attend, taking away resources much needed. Our education system across the U.S., for the most part, is in shambles. And these are resources taken away from our kids. What about our vets? What about our true homeless? We've got all that. What about these weapons I told you about being stockpiled and allowed, especially being buried in Texas and Arizona? These are the issues you need to hear about. What about the crime? Do not ever forget all of these illegal aliens. And yes, that is what they are. They are not migrants. It's not immigration. These are illegal aliens breaking through our front door. We want people to come here legally. We know a lot of great people who have come here through the system, through the process to assimilate, to be Americans. They are warriors. They want to be here. They love America. They salute our flag. These people, for the most part, are just flowing in, no questions asked, and this is unacceptable. These are the issues you need to stick with. Let's talk about the fentanyl. I'm not hearing anybody really go into the whole fentanyl poisoning of America. Illicit fentanyl, I point out. I'm not really hearing enough about the youth mental health crisis and how our kids watching all of this is further deteriorating their little minds, because, if you think they're not listening and watching, they certainly are. Why should they care when they see all of this going on? And we have to get out and vote. Vote, vote, vote. When I hear the average age of a voter is 55 years old in America, what happened? And I don't care dancing around with rappers and things like this. These are all little pieces of this low-hanging fruit that make great clicks and likes and TikToks. Don't matter about America. We are sitting on a tinderbox. We want a future. I do none of our warriors' work for myself. I do it for our children, our grandchildren, our future generations that will be future adults, and our American leaders. So join us. Please donate if possible to continue our education and raising awareness series across the United States. Help us get the word out. Let's all stop with this is weird, that is weird, because what I just told you, allowing American borders to be wide open, that is weird. Community creates change. Remember, each and every day, go out and be a warrior.